Hi there, I'm Timothy Linsdau, video producer, Christian. Especially on this weekend is important to me in the celebration of Easter and to people all around the world. So I hope you had a heartwarming Easter like I did. I didn't want to say much over the weekend. It's time to celebrate Easter and all the associated activities with that holiday and remembrance of Christ's resurrection. Had a great day. I attended the services Monday, Thursday, which has to do with traditionally with the Last Supper, or Christ had his Last Supper with the apostles before his crucifixion, his passion. And Friday is called Good Friday, which is kind of a misnomer in a way, but it is about the crucifixion, the passion of Christ. Very important part that only the God-man could fulfill, which is 100% man, 100% God, could be the only sacrifice for the world's sins. And he went through it and did it. And then Saturday's kind of a holy Saturday of remembrance and quiet. And then, of course, one of the things that our church does on Good Friday, it's a very somber, quiet. The service ends with a loud clap from the Bible, kind of like the end of death of Christ. And then you leave in the dark. They shut all the lights off. So you have this kind of a somber, sorrowful feeling, and you're looking forward to that Easter morning celebration. I mean, it really makes Easter that much more special. And my church, St. James in Imperial Beach, they have a sunrise service at the beach, and there's a nice park there in Imperial Beach, and we set up for a couple hundred people, and usually fill the place, and have a real nice service. Lots of hot coffee and donuts and fellowship and watching the early morning, watching the waves come in. Now, yesterday was a little bit chilly, the most chilly one I've experienced down there. And for Imperial Beach in the San Diego area, that's uncommon for us. And it sprinkled a little, which is also not common for this late in April. But it wasn't that bad. But it was fun. It was different. Pastor Jones, he likes to pull a little humor once in a while, and they had some beautiful music and the usual service, and he gets up to the pulpit and he says, talks about the beauty of the morning and the gathering together here, just, a few sentences and a few little odds and ends, and he goes, and that's about it, amen. And he laughs, everybody laughs along. I just made the shortest Easter sermon ever. He was just kidding. It got everybody's attention, which was a good way to do it. And it was fun. It was neat. And then after the service, we pack up everything. And you have an army of people. I mean, people contribute and pitch in, and all the chairs get picked up, all the equipment gets packed, and we all race back to the church. And because we're going to have this great, big, wonderful breakfast that a group of people have put together, free breakfast for the community. We had sausages and pancakes and a wonderful egg-like custard dish. Really, really great stuff. And then we have a lot of fellowship. Stuff ourselves on a great breakfast. And later on, the church then has an Easter egg hunt for the kids at noon, and a 10 o'clock service also for those of you that didn't want to get up early. I believe our church was the only one in Imperial Beach area that had an Easter egg hunt. So that was kind of neat. Let's see, the rest of the day, my wife and I, we just hung around, snoozed. I don't think we ate any lunch because we were so stuffed from breakfast. So we had a coupon my son had given us to Olive Garden. So in the evening, we went to Olive Garden, had a nice meal. Noticed there's a lot of Easter people there coming to eat dinner after Easter services. And so it was all an Easter-oriented event. I could see that. So it was nice. And that was about it. Came home and enjoyed a little television viewing and hit the sack. So it was a nice day. And I was looking up some of the strange celebrations for Easter around the world. Now, Easter celebrated everywhere around the world because of Europe's colonization of much of the world. Was, brought Christianity to that part of the world, and some things they made some frightful mistakes, but that's the way it is. Sweden has an interesting tradition. The children go trick-or-treating on Monday, Thursday. Little different. I thought that was kind of neat. And a little something about witches and so forth. A little like Halloween. So something different. Australians aren't big fans of well, I don't know about chocolate rabbits, but they're not big fans of rabbits because of it's an invasive species that was brought to Australia I forget what it was for. But anyway, that's what happened, and it caused them some trouble. So that's something a little bit to do with chocolate Easter bunnies. I don't know if any of you watched that one comic strip with the couple and their daughter, and the daughter hides the chocolate Easter bunny, so her mom can't eat the ears off of the bunny, but her mom always finds them. But this year she shared it with her daughter. That was a little different. So anyway. And let's see, is any other things people do? Native people, I think, of Canada. They long hunted seals in the spring. Europeans arrived. They found that parts of the seal could be sold, except for the flippers, which were relatively tough, and those they kept for home consumption and improved by coating in flour, frying in onions and other vegetables, and baked into a pie. And I guess that had something to do with the Easter season. So the seal flipper became tradition for Lent and Easter in the provinces of Newfoundland and Labrador. Well, that's kind of fascinating. Whatever that's all about. Let's see, another Eastern tradition is in Hungary. And that involves throwing buckets of water on young women of marriage age. And that had something to do with Easter Monday, I think it's what it's supposed to be. It's kind of funny. But, of course, it had something to do with fertility. And Easter Monday is what they called it. I'm pretty sure, day after Easter. Women dress up in traditional clothing, and young men douse them with water, called Water Sowing Monday. It's supposed to be a pre-Christian cleansing ritual to promote fertility, which is involved in tradition is sometimes excuse for flirting with the opposite sex, and sometimes just plain nuisance. And all kinds of things. I know in America people traditionally eat a dinner at home a lot like Thanksgiving, but usually with ham. And in a way it's a little weird because ham is verboten for Jews and Muslims, I think. Of course, Muslims don't celebrate Easter, but they do recognize Christ as a prophet. Italy tradition, celebrating Easter with eggs, and then of course it became fun to make, dyed eggs and colored eggs, and of course in Russia where they made the fancy jeweled eggs, that was kind of a wild and crazy thing, but represented life, the resurrection of Christ. And I hope you celebrated Easter that way as a recognition of your Savior's death and resurrection to conquer sin for us, that we may live forever with him. That is extremely important to know that and to believe that. That is everything. If there was no death and resurrection of Christ, the rest of it's a waste. it's very important to understand and believe that is what happened, and that's our salvation. Very important. So God bless to all of you. I hope you had a great Easter weekend. I'm Timothy Linsdau. Like and comment on my video, subscribe to my channel, and have a great day.